My name is Hollis Griffin, and I am a professor of media studies at the University of Michigan, and I am the editor of Television Studies in Queer Times, which is an anthology collection of essays about sexuality in television, especially in the context of streaming, platform delivery, production, and reception. I use the term queer times less to demark a historical era than to use it as a way of thinking about a context in which sexuality and sexual minorities are central to television production and distribution in new ways, even as there is a reinvigorated conservative attempt to clamp down on the rights afforded to sexual minorities around the world, even as there's an active activist presence around the world devoted to LGBTQ rights. And so I wanted to think about a moment when television was central to all kinds of conversations going on in all kinds of different places about the rights of sexual minorities, about the cultures, bodies, desires of sexual minorities. And so it's less about a specific historical moment than it is about thinking about the weird, topsy-turvy climate in which conversations about sexual minorities are central, and the pleasures and communities are central, even as there are reinvigorated attempts to clamp down on them. That's more what I meant by queer times in a specific era. I think the thing that I hope that people take away from television studies in queer times is that it opens up an avenue to have engaging conversations about the relationship between television and sexual politics, and that it provides new ways of thinking about questions that have lingered for decades. What is the relationship between media representation and LGBTQ politics? What is the relationship between the circulation of television content and how people understand sexual desire? And I'm hopeful that people leave the book with a reinvigorated sense that television still matters, and that television is still an object that reveals a lot about the ways that people live and the ways that people desire and the ways that people understand themselves in relation to a larger orbit of sexual desires and sexual identities. And so I'm hopeful that people leave the book with an engaging set of conceptual frameworks for approaching their own questions and approaching additional objects, because television is as a site of analysis is constantly changing, and there's always new programming, and there's a way in which books can only ever take a snapshot because there's so much and it's always growing. And so I'm hopeful that it provides an inroad that looks forward.